Did you see the showdown between President Donald Trump and the governor of Maine, Janet Mills, about the subject of banning men from women's sports? One of President Donald Trump's campaign promises was to protect girls in sports by declaring that the position of the White House and the position of the U.S. government is that there are only two genders, male and female, period, nothing more. And when it comes to sports, boys don't belong in girls' competitions. It's as simple as that. There are no extra categories, no gray areas, and 82% of the US population agrees with this point of view.
The president will be signing an executive order keeping men out of women's sports to defend the safety of athletes, protect competitive integrity, and uphold the promise of Title IX. This common sense action from President Trump ends the disgusting betrayal of women and girls by the previous administration, who for years catered to radical activists who wanted biological males to be treated as women in workplace showers, competitive sports, prisons, and even rape shelters. Gender ideology insanity is over.
President Trump signed an executive order called Keeping Men Out of Women's Sports. And yes, as you can see, the name says it all. And the rule is quite simple. If you are born a male, you just don't compete in female sports. Women fought hard for fairness in athletics, and letting biological males compete against them is just not fair. It is erasing their achievements, and Trump is making sure that schools and programs that don't comply with this ruling, well, they will just not get federal funding. So yes, people can do whatever they want, but don't expect government funding, government help if you are just not complying with this rule.
You ready? What a nice picture this is, huh, Governor? You ready? We'll do a good job. Wait, let me press that. I want to make this a really good signature because this is, this is a big one, right? Oh, I think we have a 10. We have a 10.
God bless you, Mr. President.
Pretty good, huh? I see that. Okay? Good. Now you're going to go out and win those events, right?
So here's some drama. In February 2025, President Donald Trump hosted a governor's ball, which is a long-standing tradition where the president hosts the nation's governors for a formal evening of dining and discussion. And here comes the governor of Maine, Janet Mills. Her state has been allowing transgender girls, which are in fact biological males, to compete in women's sports. And President Trump wasn't just having it. So right there in front of everybody else, he called her out. And let's listen to the conversation.
I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine? Well, are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with the state and federal laws.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one.
Well, as you can see, she refused to be intimidated. But here's the scene. The state of Maine gets $360 million every year to fund the the federal education. And that's a lot of money. And when President Trump threatens to pull that money out, well, that became a lot of pressure for Governor Janet Mills. Now, let's fast forward to the month of March. Guess what happened? The universities gave in. After the federal government paused some of the funding and issued a 10-day ultimatum, the universities, they just decided that they would rather comply than to lose millions of dollars of government funding. So they officially banned biological males from competing in women's sports. And just like that, President Donald Trump scored another victory to his name. At the end of the day, I just don't understand how come this is a political subject of conversation. It should be just about common sense. Parents, they just don't want to see their little girl losing scholarships or title to competitors with competitive advantage. And the polls back this up. One survey from New York Times Ipsos found that only 18% of Americans think transgender females should compete in women's sports. That means that 82% of Americans are against transgender women competing in girls' sports. This is just not fair. Most Americans are against this idea, and it's just common sense. Of course, some people call this executive order discriminatory. But isn't it discriminatory to female athletes to ignore the biological differences that give some competitors an unfair advantage? I wonder, what is your opinion? Should men be allowed to play in girls' sports? Let me know on the comments. And thank you so much for watching, and until soon. Peace.